Hi, it's David from Connectus, and thanks so much for tuning into this video. This one is all about having a look at the current state of the AV in your organization. We're going to do a bit of a bird's eye view, a really fun, simple, fast, interactive exercise where you'll be able to quickly see what the AV looks like. It's like a snapshot, if you will. You'll be able to see what's working well, what's not working so well, and maybe where you've got some work to do. So what we're going to be doing is just taking a piece of paper or need an interactive surface of some sort, like a digital whiteboard or something like that. Doesn't really matter. And something to write on. Really simple. I'll walk you through the exercise. We'll do one together. You'll obviously do this exercise for your own organization, so you get the results at the end. But it's pretty quick, pretty simple, and we'll get started in 1 second. So before we do, I just wanted to kind of set the scene. What we're really looking for in any organization and their audio visual is balance. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, there's a bunch of factors, and we're going to be looking at all of those in this exercise. First of all, there's experience. There's a user experience. What's it like to use these systems? Is it simple or complicated or somewhere in the middle? The technology itself, the AV technology, is it the right technology for your organization? Or does it maybe need to be changed in some way? The designs, are they well designed? Are they well put together according to industry standard and that kind of thing? The installation, has it been done by professionals? Is it well installed, making the systems robust and reliable? And then, of course, we have the support. And every organization really should have an AV support plan in place. So keeping those things in mind, let's now do the exercise and we'll be able to see where you're sitting by the end of it. All right, let's get started. You're going to start on your piece of paper or your interactive board, whatever you have, drawing a circle. So imagine this is a pizza. It's probably a good way to kind of think about it. We'll divide up the pizza into 8 slices. So draw your lines down there, dividing it in half and then half again and then an X, and pretty straightforward. That'll give you your pizza. And we're going to overlay our scoring system now. We'll be scoring each of the different aspects of this out of 10. So 0 is at the center, obviously terrible, and then the 10's all around the outside, so 10's amazing. Okay, now I'm going to give you all the different elements of this exercise. You'll just write them down in each of these different slices of the pizza, and as we go, I'll kind of explain a little bit more what these mean. Okay, so the first one is ease of use. Second one is reliability. Fit for purpose is the next one. Design is the fourth. Fifth one is integration into space. User uptake is the next one. Support and management, second last one. And the final one is security. So pause the video if you need to, so you can fill all this in and get ready so we can start the exercise. But when you are ready, press play again and we'll move on. So you should have this completed and ready to go. All right, so what we're going to be doing is giving ourselves a score for each of these different areas. So we'll start with ease of use and we'll go clockwise around this little model. The line, just after the phrase, as we go around in a clockwise direction, is where you're going to be scoring yourself. So you're just going to get a little marker and, put a dot or an X or something like that, somewhere along that line, so rate yourself out of 10. This will all make sense. It's pretty straightforward as we start to do a few. So let's get started with ease of use. So what does that mean? Well, really simple to use, almost don't even have to think about the technology. It sort of works by itself. Users are really happy with it and never complain about ease of use. That would be a 10. If it was, something really complicated and lots of steps to manage and trying to remember and figure out, and you feel like the end users are constantly complaining, well, that would be somewhere closer to 0, maybe a 1, 2, or 3, or something like that. So rate yourself in terms of ease of use. So this is how you would do it. Like I say, just put a dot somewhere on the line. The next one's reliability. So, have a think about these systems that you have in your organization. How reliable are they? Are they always working? First time, every time, almost never interrupting business as usual, allowing people to get on with their day and, really use the technology and get a lot out of it. Or if it's, technology that's providing experiences for people, are those experiences always perfect and, no glitches? Then that's, going to be somewhere up close to the 10. And then you sort of gradually move down towards 0, depending on what the actual real situation is. So put something in there that makes sense for you. Fit for purpose is the next one. So this is obviously very important. AV systems at the end of the day are tools for your organization to help people, to give an experience to people, and you need to make sure that they're aligned with whatever it is these people need or request, or what the business uses, or business needs, I should say. So how would you rate yourself in that regard? Give yourself a rating, once again, out of 10. Okay, the next two, design and integration into space, they're kind of interrelated. So let's take one at one at a time each. Design. So I think the design is more specifically around the AV itself. It's important to be following standards and best practice. It really does make a difference, where microphones are placed, where loudspeakers are placed. Same thing for the display screens or the cameras, whatever it happens to be in your system. People need to be able to clearly hear what's going on, clearly see and experience the visual. The control is also important. Is it easy for people to, control the systems, get to the control points, do the operating? All of those things need to be well thought out. Not to mention the componentry itself. We've got good components, and are they designed and made to go together and, working well nicely. All of those elements form part of the design from an audio-visual perspective. Okay, so rate that. It's hard if you've got multiple spaces, but give yourself a general rating if you can out of 10. Now, integration into space. This is the spaces themselves, the physical environments. So you've got obviously the audio-visual elements, the loudspeakers, the microphones, the cameras, the displays, and everything else, control points. How well are they integrated into the physical environment? That's kind of point one. But what about the physical environment itself? How is the furniture? How is the seating arrangement? Is it the right seating arrangement for what needs to take place in that particular space or spaces? What about the lighting? What about the acoustics? Has that been thought of? Are the cables sort of neat and tidy? Can you see them? Are they, invisible and sort of designed to not be visible? Or are they all sort of strewn across the floor and causing trip hazards and things like that? What about the integration of the technology into maybe furniture elements like tables or pieces of joinery, things like that? Have a broad think. If you've got lots of spaces, it's hard to sort of pinpoint that. But broadly speaking, have a look at that, or maybe you've got some spaces that are really good and spaces which are not very good, and give yourself a rating. All right. The second last one is the support and management. So a support plan is very important. I think here you want to be, maybe the litmus test is when there's an issue, how quickly is the issue resolved, and are end users disrupted in any way? And if so, what does that look like and for how long? So, if you can resolve something super fast and maybe resolve it before end users even know about it, or have zero impact on their lives, well, that would be fantastic. You might be using a proactive approach there, using remote monitoring and management solutions to help you do that. But if you're very much reactive, someone says, oh, I've got an issue, and then you have to call up and get someone to go have a look at the space and figure out what the problem is, and it might take days or even weeks to resolve. Well, that's not so great, and that would be a lower score. So have a think about that across your organization and give yourself a score there as well. Now, I've skipped user uptake, so we'll do that in reverse. User uptake is obviously very important. The end users need to be utilizing these AV tools. Otherwise, what's the point in investing in this technology if it's not really being used enough? So, have a think about that. Do you feel like people are using it? Are they getting a lot out of it? Are they being more effective, more efficient? Are you creating, really great experiences if that's your goal? Have a think about that and give yourself a rating. So we did that in reverse. Well, there's the support and management. The last one to do is security. And this is important, I think, more and more, and it is ever going to become more and more important as we move along as well into the future. You really need to make sure that these AV systems, which are more than likely on your network, your corporate network, are safe, are protected from viruses or threats or things like that. Your organization's protected. The people in your organization are protected. Maybe your customers are protected. Very important to be considering that. So have a think and try and give yourself a rating out of that as well. All right, so we've gone through all the different elements, and now basically what you do is you join the dots. Okay, pretty simple, and you'll have some kind of a strange shape there, and that's fine. Everyone's shape is going to be uniquely different, of course, and I think what we're ultimately looking for, though, is a shape that is circular and as big as possible, obviously. But this is, in a snapshot way, giving you a visual representation of where you are right now. You can see where you're strong, where you're weak, and where you maybe need to focus your time and energy on making improvements. So hopefully you find that really useful. At the end of the day, this model here is a signature solution which we use with all our customers and all our projects. It's a pretty visual, simple representation of what balance should look like for all AV setups in organizations. You've got 3 circles: user experience, technology, and support. They're intertwined. We've basically just gone through this whole process, giving you that snapshot score. And when you do have, that large circle, when you have a score that's a large circular shape, more or less, with scores closer to the 10 than not, then you're looking into the center of this model, which is AV is imbalanced and optimized. And that's what we're all looking for. So if you are there, fantastic, give yourself a pat on the back. If you're not a problem. You can always jot down the things you've got to work towards. And I think what's more important than anything, though, is just taking some action. So have a plan to keep moving forward, keep making adjustments. Even if you're looking great at the moment, the technology moves on at a rate of knots, and so do the user requirements. So doing that check-in, maybe doing that exercise, a couple of times a year with your AV just to see where you're sitting. Doesn't take long, probably takes you 5 minutes, and I think you could find that really useful. So thanks very much for watching. If you do feel like you need some help from some professionals such as ourselves, we can definitely assist, and we would love to. You can reach out to us there on the phone number or the email. We basically help with any stage you're at with your AV, and if you'd like to know more about that, please reach out. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you or maybe working with you in the future.